welcome back to the Blue Jays Today show. Happy Monday, everybody. Your Toronto Blue Jays are officially in the postseason. Yes. Woo! Had yourselves on the back because you were here, I hope, since the very beginning, and you rode with this team, and you could feel accomplished knowing that, hey, I stuck with these Jays. Even though they were bad last year, we stuck here to the very end, and we are going to enjoy some postseason baseball. But the big question does remain, are they going to get the bye? Who are they going to face? What is it going to look like literally next week when they play in the postseason? Because the Jays have just 6 games remaining. We're going to take a look at the remaining 6 games and predict the upcoming series back at home, back at the Rogers Center against those Boston Red Sox. What's up, everybody? Welcome in. I'm your host, Adam Peddle.
And I'm your host, Nicholas Playlog. And I do just want to take a moment right here and just appreciate what a season it's been. I know that it hasn't been totally pretty over the last little bit, and especially that 4-game losing streak that they were on. I mean, I was getting to the point where I was starting to feel just a tad bit of concern right there.
First time I never felt confident in this lineup since April.
In fact,
and that's a long time.
I actually tweeted that out. I think it was on Saturday. I tweeted that out, and I was just watching that game, and I'm like, damn, man, like there is something going wrong with this team, something going wrong with the lineup, and we will talk about that. But, just as a whole here, to be sitting on September 22nd, knowing that at the very least they're going to be playing in 2 games in the postseason, at the very minimum, that's minimum, and I'll be honest, I'm kind of expecting and hopeful that they will get more than that. That's just an awesome spot to be. So for all the criticism and the shit that we talked about Ross Atkins and Mark Shapiro and the the stuff that we've said about John Schneider in the past and the lineup and the bullpen and everyone's been taking,
everyone's shots
gotten
before.
at it at some point. I do just want to say, this has been an awesome season, and I want more. I want us to go deep in October. But I will take a moment just to appreciate where we are.
I did, just while you were speaking there, have little butterflies in my stomach because we haven't had postseason baseball in 2 years. We haven't gone live since that Twins series, and I remember the feeling of when we're ramping up towards game time and everyone's buzzing in the community. It's an awesome feeling, and we're 1 week away, whether it be on a Saturday. I hope it's not next Saturday, but the following Saturday, because that's when the ALDS begins, and I hope it's not Tuesday. So hopefully in about a week and a half, we can be getting that same sensation that we felt just a while ago, and maybe even more, because again, the Blue Jays are number 1 in the AL as of right now. It's been a phenomenal year, and maybe we can just ride this wave a little bit longer and hope that the boys come through in the postseason, because we got a good team. But the team has been, like you mentioned, 4-game losing streak, some concerns in that offense that definitely need to be talked about here on the show.
Yeah. Let's take a moment right now and start to take a look at that offense real quick. Also, shout out to Will Levis saying, breaking news, saw Nick running this weekend. He was absolutely locked in. Shout out to Will.
What? Were you outside running?
I went for a run on Saturday, so I guess Will saw me right there. Yes, I was definitely locked in. Haven't been running in a while, so 10 kilometers out of retirement. I felt really good. Offense, though, on the Toronto Blue Jays, they've been quite the opposite of locked in recently. I saw a statistic that's really not too flattering, but in the last 30 days, there's only 2 guys who have an OPS over 800, and one of them is on the IL right now, and that's Bo Bichette. And I think maybe Dalton Marshall might have he literally is at 800.
Just 800,
but it's him and it's George Springer, and then the other individual was Bo Bichette, who is again on the IL. Now we're gonna have some good news about him, but you aren't seeing the clutch key performances that made this team special at the beginning or the middle parts of the season, where the bottom of the lineup, for instance, the Addison Barges of the world or the Alejandro Kirks of the world, like they're cooling off. They haven't been as hot recently, and Vladdy, whilst he has not been a complete and utter dead spot in the lineup, I mean a 275 batting average is okay, but a 621 OPS from your guy, from your dude who you're hoping and you're kind of banking on is going to turn it on once we get to October, especially considering Bo Bichette is out. That's not good enough. I think we can all agree that's not good.
Like he's only got 1 extra base hit. He needs more extra base hits. Like at least when he was doing well and not hitting home runs, he was still getting the doubles. He was still getting extra base hits, driving the ball to the gaps in the opposite field. Like he was still doing that a lot. But now you're not seeing it right now. Shout out to Clement. He's actually stepped up quite a bit in the last little bit, but we need more, right? Dalton Nolan Varsha, even though he did have a big game the other night, 644 OPS. And then you brought up Kirk. This has been concerning for me, man. He has 5 hits and 30 at-bats in the last 15 days. He has a OPS of 396.
Yeah, it's not great.
A guy in the middle of that lineup who's been clutch all year long. He's been great all year long, but it doesn't matter until you do it in the postseason. This is a little bit concerning. I'm hoping that we get back to Rogers Center. We obviously are going to get back to Rogers Center this Tuesday, but I'm hoping that the offense can find a spark yet again. It felt like we were on the road and we were pressing because we knew we had to go and clinch it up. We did have some tough pitching matchups, especially with Tampa Bay Rays. They always can get us, but I'm hoping we can get through that right now. We saw a little bit of life winning 8-5 against the Kansas City Royals. I'm hoping that we can do the same against the Red Sox and the Rays.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. The way that they played baseball last week, and whilst this is ultimately a positive podcast today, I mean, they clinched and we're feeling good, and I'm very appreciative. That's why I led with this off the top. I was leading with the appreciative part, because what I'm about to say next is, if they play like that in the postseason, it's gonna be 3 and done, right? It's, you know, it's 1, 2, 3 games and you're out of there type thing. So the offense cannot be that way. And yes, I am concerned about this team's capabilities on the road, because you are going to have to go on the road in the playoffs. Now, I will feel a lot more confident if in this Boston series, if in this, who's the final team? Tampa
Rays.
Bay. Tampa Bay Rays. If at home, if your offense comes back to life like we saw in that final game there, 8 runs, that was the Toronto Blue Jays offense that we'd been missing. And you don't always need to put up 8 runs, but they were threatening the whole game. Whereas in the previous other games, it was like it wasn't a threat at all. Right?
Yeah.
Like there was no concerns for those pitchers right there. So I need to see this offense, when we're in the Rogers Center, act and perform at the level that we've seen them perform at for the majority of the season, or else I will be very concerned walking into October.
And I think they will. And the reason why I think they will is because, look, I mean, baseball's a long freaking year. They had no off days, and we can make excuses about them not having any rest until the cows come home. But essentially, the Blue Jays have been so good for so long, and this was like the 1 4-game stretch where we're like, oh my God, our offense is brutal. And you get, again, I don't want to make excuses because they are against the Rays, who pitched them very, very tough, like I mentioned, and then you kind of led that into KC, and they had some tough pitching matchups there. But you come back home, remind yourselves of who you are. They've been good all year long, guys. They have to turn it around a little bit, and they're going to go through the tough stretches. It's more amplified when it's the time of the year and the fact that everyone kind of is doing it at the same time. They're going to hopefully get through it, and there will be some guys that step up. I believe in this team.
Well,
that they can.
What's the biggest question then is this just one of those stretches like where the bullpen was at about a month ago, where it just felt like shit hit the fan altogether? Everybody's performing like, bad all at the same time, and then they kind of rectified and they got through it. And nowadays it's like bullpen's still not perfect, but I'm feeling a lot more confident about it than I was a month ago. Is it just one of those freak things where the guys are all kind of getting unlucky, or is there an element of, hey, we haven't won a playoff game with this core? The mental start to catch up with us a little bit. Like, is that kind of starting to seep in here for you when you're watching these at-bats?
Like, it's easy to think that way, and I can understand if people want to kind of look at it that way. I don't think they're thinking it that way. Like, I really don't think they are. Maybe it is subconsciously, but I don't think they are thinking that way. It could be an element of we just went on the road. We're freaking tired. I mean, they all look exhausted out there, and maybe we do know we need to get one more game just to get over the hump. And now that they've done it, if there was any doubt of that, maybe it is seeping in of can they really do it? They just clinched the postseason. They had a champagne party. They're going back to Rogers Center. They have a day off today. I think they're going to reset and come back good.
I think that the rest is going to be crucial for me. I want to see us get that bye, because I do think that there is an element of fatigue and exhaustion. And let me be clear, that's not an excuse, because that's a reason. But if you're going to go and you're going to win the World Series, you got to fight against that. And we're seeing teams right now, like, for instance, the Seattle Mariners, fighting against that. They've played just as many baseball games as you have, Toronto, and they are performing potentially the best baseball that probably the best team in MLB right now, actually, and they're doing it late September. So, yes, I do think that exhaustion is a factor, and that's why, for me, the bye is going to be so important.
Right.
To win said bye, we got to win the division.
That's right.
You tweeted out earlier today the scenario as to exactly how we would go about losing the division.
That's
okay,
right.
The New York Yankees are the team to look out for. They're really the only team in play at this point. If Toronto goes 3-3, so we split we split the remaining 6 games right here. That forces the New York Yankees to be perfect, go 6-0. Who are they up against?
They are going to be up against the Chicago White Sox and the Baltimore Orioles.
Shit, they could go 6-0.
There might be a reality. I mean, the Chicago White Sox at one point were getting very, very hot. Now they've obviously gotten very, very cold. They're 2-8 over their last 10 games, and the Baltimore Orioles are 4-6. And just a reminder who we are up against, ladies and gentlemen. We are up against the Boston Red Sox and, like we just talked about, the Tampa Bay Rays. The Boston Red Sox are also 4-6, as well as the Tampa Bay Rays. So, like, they're not playing their best baseball, but like we just saw, I mean, the Rays pitch us very, very tough. So, with all that being said, I mean, it is going to be a very... You control your own destiny right here. I've said this before, where there was a homestand before where they needed to go 4-2, and then on the away road trip they need to go 3-4, and then again they need to go 4-2 here. Then they would have clinched it. They went 5-1, so they bought themselves a little bit more comfort, right? Because now they can go 3-3 and like basically theoretically clinch it, unless New York's perfect. Like they still are in control right here. You got to play good baseball. You're at home. If you can just split the homestand, obviously there's a 6-0 scenario where they could do it, but that's very unlikely. Or just win 4-2, like I said before, and you take care of business.
I think you got to win 4-2 for me, because what's gonna make me or instill me with confidence again? Offense turning it on when we get back home. We're gonna be at home for the 6 games here.
Yeah.
Let's take it. What have you been doing all season long?
You've been going 4-2, actually. Exactly.
On average,
67% winning percentage.
Like, that's what you've been doing. So, theoretically, for me to say, it's like, well, you don't want to walk into the postseason cold. You go 3-3 at home. You are walking into the postseason cold. You control your own destiny right now. I don't even want to give a sliver of a chance for New York to come back into this thing, because that would then. So if let's just do some mental gymnastics right here. Let's just say, oh God, shit does hit the fan. We go 3-3. New York wins out. Unlikely. It's unlikely, but you know what? It happens. All right. They win out. Toronto Blue Jays finish off with 93 wins. We don't get the bye anymore. We would be the #1 team in the wild card. And then we would be matched up against
whomever, because we talked about our Bad for Baseball show. It is going to be a shit show in the wild card.
Honestly, that's where it gets tough to predict, because we would be there.
It could be Boston, it could be Cleveland, it could be Houston. We don't know. It could be Detroit. They might fall out. But yeah, it's up against a team. You will have home field advantage, hopefully, unless someone they all surpass us. But it's going to be a situation that you don't want to be in.
Well, and you know what? I'm looking at this right now too, and I think that this just is further hammering the point home for me. As it stands today, Seattle, they're owning the second bye, and I actually love that. I love that for us, because that means that there's just no possible way that you can play them in the ALDS, because there was a couple different scenarios where when they were a wild card team and we were a bye team, they could have been a team that you match up against in the ALDS. I don't want to see them. I want somebody else to deal with the Seattle Mariners. So as right now, I'm actually very happy with where things are.
This is the perfect outcome. Now, you could argue like maybe... Because right now, as it stands, we'd take the winner between the Yankees and the Red Sox in the wild card. And I'll be honest, the Yankees are getting a little bit hot right now. And, if you want to talk about momentum, they got those easy teams that we just brought up. That's a great get right, get hot kind of series. And then you're walking straight into a wild card as of right now. That's the odds. You're walking straight to a wild card. You might spank the Red Sox. You're still rolling. And then you go and you face the Blue Jays.
One thing to keep in mind there is that their head-to-head record with Boston's been very bad this year.
Right.
But again, they're hot. Boston's not.
Boston's not. So yeah, I mean, the Blue Jays are in a great spot right now. But yeah, you're right. The key thing right here for the Blue Jays, it's better just to win 4-2, feel great, get the whole week off. Like, your last game's on Sunday, then you won't play till the following Saturday. You have 6 games, and I think, like we've been talking about the last couple of weeks, that is a major advantage. Look how tired they were last week. I know tired is an excuse, but if you can get yourself some extra rest while they're all still playing and tired as. That's huge. That's huge for the postseason. And then you can match up exactly what you want for your postseason rotation. You don't have to throw out all your best guys in that week and then have to save them for later in the ALDS. You could throw out your game 1 guy against maybe the Yankees or Boston Red Sox game 3 or 4 guy. Like, you can set it up that way, so it's just a bigger advantage to get that by.
Yeah, and also too, in the AL, I think it's even more important because there's a couple teams right there. New York's not one of them, but Detroit Cleveland, Houston, and Boston, we were looking at their schedules on our other channel. They're almost already in playoffs.
Yeah, they're all playing each other, too.
Detroit's going to play Cleveland, and then they're going to play Boston. So you got to imagine that all of those teams, they're going to be burning everyone.
Yeah.
Because what are they trying to do? They're trying to get to October, right? We can't, we don't have the luxury of playing it safe right now. We are burning it. Tarek Skubal, you're going all the games. If I'm Detroit right now, if we are
back-to-back starts.
We're going back-to-back here. No, I'm exaggerating, obviously. But point being is that would be, or those would be some of the squads that you may end up getting matched up against in the ALDS, assuming they make it through and get through the wild card. And once you have been fully rested, doing your spa days and your conditioning days and your recovery days, they're going to be gassed.
They're going to be absolutely gassed. So the Blue Jays, it is more crucial. Even though, you're saying they're kind of in playoffs, we're in playoff atmosphere as well this week, but for a different reason. We're playing for the luxury of being able to control our own decision making when it comes to managing, pitching, and being rested and fully healthy for the postseason, and getting Bo Bichette back. That's another element. We'll bring that up later. Bo Bichette is still hurt. He probably won't be back for a wild card series, and that's huge. I don't want to play a 3-game series without one of my best hitters available for me in the lineup. Look what happened last week without Bo Bichette. We could have really used someone like Bo Bichette driving in George Springer, which was the only player really getting on base for us last week, home. So get him rested, get back for the LDS.
Well, you know what? There's a lot of things that are contributing to this, but we can dumb it down. We can make it pretty simple here. Bo in offense, offense good. Bo out of offense not good anymore.
Yeah, that's not as good anymore.
Not as good. Not as good. That's actually just the stats, and obviously, he's not the one forcing Alejandro Kirk to play badly now, or Vladdy to hit ground balls.
But he can pick up the guys.
But that's the thing,
he's
right?
Been picking them up all year long.
When he's in the lineup, it's a good thing. When he's out of the lineup, it's not a good thing. He should be in the lineup. We'll talk about it a little bit more later, but should be in the lineup hopefully for that ALDS. Now, before we talk about what transpired yesterday with Dalton Varsho and various others, I do think we should give a shout out to one of the sponsors of this video, everybody. Massive shout out to Budweiser right here. Batters up and the Buds are stepping up to the plate. Budweiser is encouraging all Buds to rally for October, everybody. That's right. We're going to October. So
that's right.
We're going to be live for every single playoff game here, guys. Shout out to Budweiser for helping support the boys. Shout out to you guys for helping support the boys and allowing us to do this. October moments with your Buds are priceless. Savor the feeling while cheering on your Toronto Blue Jays. They are the official partner of the Toronto Blue Jays, whilst they are the official partner of Blue Jays Today. Baseball's better with your Buds. Rally for October. Learn more at budweiser.ca. Must be legal drinking age. Please drink responsibly.
Now, I know we want to transition to Dalton, but, to kind of, sum up that whole last thing that we just talked about, they needed the offense to be good, and we had one guy last week who was going to be crowned Jay of the Week, who was very, very good. And this guy, if we're going to win anything in October, it's going to be with the bat of this man, if it wants to play. Oh, yeah, the graphics aren't playing anymore. Shout out to George Springer. Shout out to George Springer for being Jay of the Week. Oh, my God, it's working. It's working.
Man, I don't understand the tech. Tech doesn't make any sense to me, guys. That's why we just talk ball. But George Springer has been a legend for us. Whilst everyone else decided to go ghost mode, offensively speaking, this man continues to get it done at an elite level, guys. He, in the last 15 days, by the way, has an OPS of 982. That's stupid.
Yeah,
he
that's
just
really
turned
dumb.
36. His birthday was just the other day ago.
Right.
And he just turned 36 years old. And one thing that's just kind of been across the board, people been keep saying is you're not playing like a 36-year-old dude. You look
playing like you're 26.
Yeah, you look like maybe the best that we've ever seen you.
Literally, this is the career high batting average for him right now.
Is it
304 is the career high batting average for a single season for George Springer.
I did not know that, but shout out to Unk for just continuing to get it done. This was a landslide victory right here.
Yeah, landslide.
Whilst everybody else was just kind of meh, George Springer was absolutely electric and won Jay of the Week handily right there. So thank you very much, Unk, for continuing to prove us wrong, prove literally all of your haters wrong. I think everybody was, except Sophie, everyone was pretty much on the George Springer is declining train. Not anymore. I mean, at this point, I'm fuck, like he's he's probably our best hitter. Yeah. And walking into next season, I will also probably be looking at him as our best hitter.
I know. Well, here's a fun fact, as I've been keeping track of who's won all the J of the Weeks. He is leading the Blue Jays with most J of the Weeks with 4. Gausman is in second with 3. He's also won J of the Month in July, and I got a sneaky suspicion when we throw out the votes for September, he'll probably win that too. And so with all that being said, just think about who's Jay of the Year is. Who's the Jays MVP? My vote goes to George Springer. Dude. Actually, we got asked by Tyson, shout out to Tyson from Blue Jays Nation, for who the Blue Jays MVP is. I said George Springer, man.
I still got to make my vote, but I do think it's George Springer. I just looked at this right now. It's something I haven't looked at in a while, is like the player stats across MLB. So in terms of OPS, there's Aaron Judge, one, who's a ludicrous human being. Shohei Ohtani, also a baseball psychopath. Then you have Cal Raleigh, who is awesome, but 2 OPS points lower is George Springer. He is got the 4th highest OPS in all of MLB. That's higher than Juan Soto. That's higher than Kyle Schwarber. These are individuals who are, he's got the 4th highest batting average in baseball. Like,
what's his on base? Third highest on base.
I mean, like, this is crazy.
He's going to get MVP votes. He's going to be a top 5 MVP vote.
Yeah, like, I'm looking at it right now. He should be the 3rd MVP in the American League. Yeah. Unless they decide to do something with Tarek Skubal or one of the pitchers. Like, it should be Aaron Judge, Cal Raleigh, and then George Springer.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
That's crazy.
I know. So shout out to George Springer. He's phenomenal, and he is our leadoff hitter. Let's talk about another guy who is phenomenal, not just with the bat. He's been very good this year with the bat, but also the glove, and how he actually got robbed of a base hit, and a lot of fans are now questioning the integrity of the MLB replay room. This happened yesterday, I believe, when the Blue Jays won against the Kansas City Royals. Shout out to Daniele. He's on Sportsnet 590. He's a GOAT. He's a legend, a great human being. He has a tweet here which is talking about the video replay incident where literally Dalton Varsho caught a baseball. Initially, it was ruled an incomplete catch, like it hit the ground. And then upon further review, I can't show the whole thing right here. I feel like I'll get copyrighted. But you can clearly see on an angle, it never touches the ground. He catches it in his glove right there. It never hits the ground. You can see there's leather. If you zoom in, there's leather. The ball's literally right there in the glove. It never touches the ground at all. And they called it still. The rule on the field stands, and it was not a catch. This got everybody up in arms in Blue Jays land. What are your thoughts and feelings? Because my thoughts and feelings are what I felt like when the Blue Jays were really good back in 2015, 2016. It just felt like all of a sudden, as soon as the Jays got really good, the MLB and the umpiring crew did everything possible to get an advantage on the Blue Jays. And it's not just like, we do get some calls. No, it felt like every call in a situation where they could control, we lost. So what are your thoughts?
I just put it in the chat, so you guys let us know. I just said, is the replay room biased towards the Jays? You can either vote on yes, they hate us, or nah, they're just bad. I think that if this was a one-off incident, then there may be some, there wouldn't be as much discourse. But when you factor in what transpired earlier in the week, with the Brandon Lowe home run, that was clearly fan interference, and they acknowledged it was fan interference, and then they called it a home run anyways. And then, I posted out a thing on Instagram today, and people were bringing up other various examples about how it's like, this foul ball was actually that. You start to connect a couple dots here, and it's not a good look for MLB.
That's the thing.
Now, I'm not a major conspiracy theory guy right here. I personally don't see the benefit for MLB to be against Toronto unless there is just some subconscious underlying biases from the people, from the individuals who are in the MLB replay room. I don't know who those guys are. I have no idea who, what they grew up with. Maybe
they are in New York City.
They are in New York City.
Just saying.
They are in New York City. Maybe that's got something to do with it. I don't know. I tend to think that maybe they're just really horrendously bad at their jobs, because I don't know how else you could call what happened with Dalton Varsho not a catch.
Well, my mom in here with the facts. Here's the thing, too, that if you want to get real tinfoil hat, conspiracy theory right here, Blue Jays own the rights to broadcast their own postseason games. And what's the worst thing that happens if the Blue Jays go to the World Series? I'm going to lose out on half the viewership potentially right here if I'm the MLB. I don't own those rights. Fox doesn't own the rights. CBC doesn't own the rights. NBC doesn't own the rights. You own the rights. So I'm going to lose out actually a lot of money here. And again, tinfoil hat conspiracy theory, but that's what it felt like too in the postseason many years ago. Like, and I don't get it because, like, you know, the Blue Jays are a big team. You'd think that like this would bring a lot of attention, but maybe it's money. I don't know. Either way, you start to really notice it a lot. And even saw it again the other day favoring the New York Yankees when it was a play on Dominguez where he was initially called out. They go to further review, very inconclusive. I went frame by frame. It is a tie, which usually means we cannot definitively say that he was safe. So with a rule on the field stands, but they overturned it. You know, I've seen it happen a lot in throughout the entire season. Like, okay, if they can't definitively overturn it, they won't do it.
It's but what's on the field, yeah.
But they did it because, well, here you go again. It's the New York Yankees.
Yeah, and again, like, we're getting deep now into the conspiracy theories, and I don't know how much any of this is true or not, or if there is anything to it. Usually, I tend to err on the side of people are just stupid rather than they have, some other ulterior motive. Because there is a lot of stupid people, folks. But all that being said, I think that we are going to have to watch this whole scenario under a very, very tight microscope. Because should the MLB replay room act up again in the next 6 games of time, like, at this point, I don't know how you don't start to think to yourself that something is amiss right here. Like, if one of these calls that's clear and obvious, right? Because this Dalton Varsho thing, it was clear and obvious. You watched it in real time, it looked like a catch. You watched it in slow motion, it looked like a catch. There was never any. Yeah, there was never. There was like no angle.
You want to talk about conclusive evidence? That was conclusive evidence. Like, it never touched the ground.
No.
Like, it was not even close.
And usually I like to try to take my biases out of this, and I'll say, especially when we're on the live stream, I'll be like, no, he's out, or no, we're saying whatever. No, it was a catch. And even Dalton Varsho, when they were popping champagne, agreed that it was a catch. I love that clip. He smiles about it. I mean, it's truly insane. Yeah, and this is one of those things too where we can kind of like, we can laugh about it a little bit and complain and whatever, but imagine they go on to lose that game. And we haven't clinched yet. And now we're 1 game ahead of New York, and it's all coming down to that one bad call. You needed that out. We didn't get that out. Runs came around to score. And we end up losing that game. That's the type of stuff that we just can't have. And ultimately, it comes down to this. RPG Man 45, conspiracy or not, right? Stupidity or not, bias or not. What is the point of having a replay room if you don't get it right?
I know.
That's you know what I mean? Like, I actually don't care why you're getting it wrong, but we just need to not get it wrong.
If we can see it at home, you clearly can get it right. I did see someone else in here. I think it was Leah saying, do you forget the whole bad for baseball thing? We have a bad for baseball channel. We made up that term a while ago because we had the tweet from John Heyman saying Shohei Ohtani going to LA was actually good for baseball and going to Toronto would be bad for baseball. There you go. You want to bring up a little bit of evidence of media not liking and wanting anything to do with Toronto? Here it comes again, guys. Blue Jays in the World Series is apparently bad for baseball. There you go.
Just get the calls right, guys.
Get the calls right.
Please. Or if you're Toronto, you just got to keep dropping 8 on them. Keep putting up 8, and it's going to be, because think about how many calls are going to have to go the other team's way if we keep putting up 8. A lot of calls to make up that difference right there. So if the offense keeps humming, maybe we won't need to worry about this, but I got a feeling that come playoff time, there's going to be a replay that's going to be close.
It's going to be exactly like 2015.
And it's going to... I got a feeling it's going to happen.
Can we relive that a little bit? Like, do you remember the 2015 incident? I mean, you saw it all, too, where it's like, Russell Martin throwing it back Shin Shu Chu's. Yeah. Okay, and then he calls time out. He calls time out, dead ball. Actually, no, and the runner comes home and scores. Actually, no, we're going to take that back. It wasn't timeout because the Blue Jays were standing flat-footed, like, oh, timeout, it's called. We're not going to do anything. Or dead ball. No, actually, it wasn't a dead ball. It's a live ball, so he scores. Like, that's like you're just it's this. What does that sound like to you? What does that sound like to you? That sounds exactly like the thing about the home run ball where he's leaning over. Actually, it was fan interference, but he's going to be a home run anyways.
Yeah.
Like, anyways, that shit I already know it's going to happen, especially we face New York in ALDS. That's going to be scary.
Yeah,
that's going to be scary.
That could certainly be something right there. So that's our thoughts on that whole discourse that's transpiring right now. Please let us know in the comments down below. Also, to kind of wrap up that poll, 72% of you think that there is some type of bias, and 28% of you think that nah, they're just really bad. Let's transition and talk about Bo Bichette rejoining the lineup. We got some optimistic updates right here saying that he is progressing well, could be back sooner than expected, and that would be right at the beginning of playoffs. This is awesome. We need Bo Bichette, especially if we are going to be up against potentially a red-hot New York Yankees team in the ALDS. This bat is crucial.
Yeah, it is crucial, and I hope the Blue Jays can still stay hot and not stay hot, but get hot, because they've been cold as hell lately. Get hot in Toronto without Bo Bichette. They're going to need to, because they have no intention of rushing him back anytime soon. It's already been announced he will not be back for the remainder of the season. But if you go into a wild card series, you might push him. You have to push him, but he might not be 100% ready. He might not be getting the right reps he needs to in order to come back 100%. He's probably not going to be 100%, so that's a little bit scary. He should be 100% if he comes back in the weekend series, which would be the ALDS, hopefully, if they get the bye. Another guy that we didn't bring up on the show, but Anthony Santander. The question will be answered soon. Is he going to come back this week? And now asking this chat, because we went through a whole week of pretty much ass offense. Are you open to Anthony Santander coming back after seeing what we saw this past week? I'll throw it to you and I'll throw it to the chat.
Well, let's take a look, because I haven't taken a look at his minor league stats in a couple days. Okay, we are terrible with our batting average. We have a high OPS of 811. That kind of sounds a lot like Anthony Santander, honestly. Extra base hits, but not a lot of them.
That's Anthony Santander.
Man, I wanted to have it be easy on me, because I really was just hoping and crossing my fingers that he'd be batting 300 and have an OPS of like 1 down there. And then it's like, oh, well, of course you got to bring him up. He's doing too good. But now we're stuck in this little weird middle area where it's like, well, it's good, but is it good enough to to change things up in
honestly,
the lineup?
For me, I'm not looking at batting average. I'm looking at the extra base power.
Yeah, does he have power?
He's got what, 4?
He's got 2 home runs, 5 RBIs. He's got 2 doubles as well.
Great. So 4 extra base hits of the 7. The extra base power is there. He's got an OPS of 811. He's getting walks. He's got an on base of 342 compared to the batting average of 219. That's Anthony Santander. Yeah, you'd want it to be even more so to make it even obvious, but I mean, I'm kind of in the camp, like, if you want to bring him up at the end of this week and just see what he's got, this is the time, because you have no more time, right?
And then what is the move in reverse? Who's going down?
That's the question. I mean, you do have Joey Loperfido, who's starting to cook a little bit. I mean, not a hell of a lot, but like, you have to make a move somewhere, and it would probably be him. Or do you get rid of IKF? I don't know if they do that. They might.
I think that they like IKF a bit too much, man. I really do think that they're big IKF fans. In the last 7 days, you want to talk about extra base power? In 6 games, Joey Loperfido, actually, he's only got 1 home run. How's that possible?
He doesn't have many out. He's at 5
at bats. So late.
So it's a small sample size, right?
It looks like they're not. He's been good, but it looks like they're not committed to Joey. So I would imagine that if they were to make the Anthony Santander move, it would probably be him. I mean, crazy to say, but they are a bit more committed to the IKFs and the Miles Straws of the world than Joey Loperfido.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Like, here's the reality, folks. Like, Ty France, no options. Isaiah kind of Fleffa, no options. You might want to have him for a postseason option later on. Joey Loperfido, 2 options. So I feel like that's an easy burn, and I think that's where they'll go if they bring up Santander, which we'll find out today, everybody. Let's move on and talk about the upcoming series, which should be playoff atmosphere, at least for the Blue Jays, and of course for the Boston Red Sox, because like we mentioned a little bit before, they're fighting right now for a wild card spot, and they could lose it just as easy this week. Before we move on, let's give a quick shout out to Pizza. Let me just get the graphic here. Lots of flipping and dipping, and there we go. Pizza. Meet your new game time favorite, the Stromboli and drink combo from Pizza. 4 mouth-watering flavors: pepperoni, pesto Mediterranean, 4 meat, and smoky barbecue chicken. I want to request a smoky barbecue chicken on Friday. That sounds really, really good. Don't wait. Swing by Pizza today, or order on the Pizza app or online at pizzapizza.ca. Pizza, because everyone deserves pizza. everyone deserves in Toronto a series win. That would be really, really nice.
Great, yeah. And especially if we could do this, like, shit's gonna get stressful if we lose this series.
It will.
Because if we lose this series, I would imagine that New York will still very much be in the mix right now. And then you're forcing yourselves in the final series against Tampa Bay, who you never play good. Like, we never play good against Tampa Bay.
we got to win the series against the Boston Red Sox.
I don't want to be there. I just don't want to be there, right? To go 4-2, you probably got to take 2 off Boston. Being realistic here, you probably got to take 2, and
maybe 3,
maybe even 3, because Tampa Bay is just the way that they are. But it's not gonna be easy.
No.
Tomorrow evening, everybody, we're gonna be live for that game. By the way, no game tonight, but tomorrow it's Lucas Giolito up against Kevin Gausman. Giolito this season is having a nice bounce back season for him. Recently, 4 earned runs in 4.1 innings, not phenomenal, but then did pretty good against Detroit or New York, pretty good against Arizona, and then the stretch can go back into August as well because he has a couple or a handful of good starts there too. So Giolito been pretty good. Gausman been very, very good though recently. This is obviously your game 1 guy. What are you thinking for game 1 before you give that prediction? Shout out to Natalia here with the $6.99 donation. A little behind. The ball was hanging out of the top of Varsho's glove. Doesn't that mean it touched the grass since it was partially out of the glove on the catch? I don't think so.
No.
I think that if there was an angle where you literally saw him like using the ground to keep it in the glove, then okay, you have a strong argument. But there was never that angle. There was never, it was. I think that what happened is it was in his glove. He had it the whole time. Maybe it moved a little bit to the edge of his glove as the catch proceeded, but I don't think he ever used the ground to help him at all.
And there was no video evidence. That's the thing. There was no clear video evidence to show that it did touch the ground. All you saw was it in the back or the tip of the glove right there. Thank you for the donation. Really, really appreciate it. Also, shout out to Trudeau Stronger Free with another dono, $6.99, saying, thoughts on Savage in the playoffs? Maybe he goes against Cam Schlittler. That is a very interesting thing because now we had Chris Bassett. We even talked about this. Chris Bassett on the IL. This kind of moves Savage into like a must-start role. Unless you're changing your plans with Barrios, he's starting. He's starting in the ALDS.
So I do want to dive into that conversation a bit more. Let's table it for right now. So while we do our series prediction, we will get back to it. Also, Rob Battler with the $279 donation. W's in the chat for all of the people that just donated. Savages are Danny Dimes. We're fine, man. If he plays half as good as Danny Dimes has been playing, we might go all the freaking
way. All the way, baby.
Here. But we'll talk about that in just a little bit, folks. Let's just finish breaking down this Boston series. Giolito, Gausman, Rogers Center. We play good at Rogers Center. Boston, we played pretty well against Boston this year as well. We've had their number. That being said, though, the crunch is on, and they need these wins even more than we need these wins. Game 1, Gausman, Giolito, what do you think?
I think we're winning. Give me my ace on the bump back at Rogers Center. You had an off day. We've been screaming, these guys need a break. I think the offense is going to get going, and that's just pure faith and bias right now.
100%.
Going off of an 8-run game against the Kansas City Royals, you clinch, you had your party. Yeah, you're up against Giolito, who's been scuffling in September. That's jump on him, pounce on him. Gausman's been amazing. He's been the best pitcher in almost Blue Jay history in this one month of September. Give me Gausman. Give me the W here tomorrow for the Blue Jays.
So I'm taking a look right now. Boston, offensively speaking, last 15 days, they are 11th in all of baseball. Toronto, 24th. Not very good. So definitely they've been playing better offensively speaking. However, the home field advantage, I think, is a real thing. I really do. I think the home field advantage is different. I mean, maybe it is that fucking traject machine. I don't know, but like,
probably
if that's actually what it is, like, shout out to technology for being awesome.
Legal technology.
Anyone can do it should they decide to invest in that thing, and it is a really cool thing. But I'll take Toronto to win the first one. We're gonna need the offense to wake up.
Gonna need to wake up.
That's what it really just has to be that. And if the offense doesn't wake up this week, I'm going to feel very worried going into the playoffs. I have faith right now that they will wake up. If we lose that Boston series, though, it's going to be panic time.
Giolito's type of pitcher where if you start buying into his pitches and chasing his pitches, you're cooked. Like that, he has that upside of being that type of ace-level guy when you are chasing and committing to his pitches, like any pitcher really. But you got to be in your own game plan and stick with it, and you got to get on him to get the W. Shout out to Justin Nick of Time with the $10 donor saying, hey boys, me and my brother are going to start live streams on Leafs games if anyone's interested. Well, yeah, go check out Justin Nick of Time and the live streams, guys, because I assume that's going to start in a few weeks.
Yeah, guys, hockey season's what? Usually it's like first, second week of October.
First, second week of October.
Somebody let us know when the first Leafs game is. But that's really, really cool, man. Best of luck to you, to your brother as well. We will fully support that when you guys are up and running. We appreciate you being part of this community. Game 2, Garrett Crochet, Max Scherzer. Garrett Crochet, 17 wins, 5 losses. Max Scherzer, he was part of the 20-1 shit show that we had to stay live for on Friday night. Holy mother of God. Let's not forget that happened, everybody. 20-1 is what happened this past Friday. So I know we clinched. I know we're real happy right now, but it was not good. He came out after the game. He said that they just beat me in all facets. Everything that he was doing, and he admitted it, they were all over me.
It was a lot, and honestly, he made a lot of mistakes there too. I don't know if he admitted that, but like it was a lot of hanging, not breaking sliders that hung up, and they hit him out of the ballpark. For me, this is probably the one I'm circling on the calendar for the get right game for Scherzer, because again, we, like you guys were talking about, like what about you Savage? A lot of you Savage questions will be answered depending on what Max Scherzer does, and a lot of questions with Max Scherzer gets answered in this start right here. If he can battle against Garrett Crochet, a potential playoff team and a #1 ace, then all right, I'll feel a little bit more comfortable that you just had a bounce back against the Boston Red Sox and Garrett Crochet, and you gave us a chance to win. If you don't, well, now I'm having a lot of concerns, and the question about whether you're starting a playoff game becomes real.
I think that if this leads to another, just
shit kicking,
then how do you?
Then we're not starting him.
I mean, he didn't. Did he even get an out?
He got two
outs. Okay, he got 2 outs. I still remember when it was like 7-0, and it was no outs, and it's what is happening right now on that Friday game? So I'm fingers crossed that Scherzer can actually give us a solid outing. You don't need to be perfect, but you got to give us a chance to win. However, I'm obviously going to say that we lose that game because like Garrett Crochet, 17 wins, 5 losses against the guy that just gave up, or was part of the 20-1 loss that we were up. I have to say that we lose that game.
I have to as well, even though he has been struggling as of late. 3 earned runs in 6, 3 earned runs 6 and 6. It's technically a quality start, but if you can get 3 earned runs in 6 off of Garrett Crochet, you're laughing. Did dominate the Athletics, but then the Red Hot Guardians got him for 7 earned in over 6. Even though he's been struggling, Scherzer been struggling more. Boston wins this one. We're 1-1. We're going into the rubber match on Thursday in our predictions. You got Brian Bayo against Shane Bieber. This is a pretty even matchup, ladies and gentlemen. Bayo's been good all year long, and in the month of September, I am finding out this as I'm speaking, he has not been good. He has a 5.85 ERA in the month of September. Got beat up by the Athletics, beat up by New York, beat up. Quality start, but still 3 earned runs, 6 innings against Arizona. 3 earned runs, 5 earned against the Cleveland Guardians again. What are you thinking right here? Brian Bayo, and you've got Bieber, who's been good in some games, meh in the others, but doesn't really blow it out of the water like Scherzer did the other day. He gives you a chance, to say the least. Where are you at?
This is a tough series.
It is a tough series. They're throwing out their best pitchers against ours. Not our best pitchers, but
this is a tough series because there's a couple conflicting thoughts I have right now. With the way that we've played ball over the last little bit, we should lose this series. But they're going back home, and I'm trying to weigh what we've seen recently with the effect that the Rogers Center has had right now, and it's actually very close to me whether or not we're going to win or lose this series. I think I'm going to say that we win the last game, but I want it to be very clear. That's just because I want it to be that way. I think that there is a very good chance that this is a flip of the coin type series, and the Toronto Blue Jays might get the wrong side of the coin here and lose 2-1. Or
the key is going to be offense. If offense is back, we win the series. Easy. Like, that's how we win anyways, all year long. If offense is back, we win. We got to prove it. And honestly, that Crochet game, we got to prove. This is our last kind of maybe final litmus test against an actual ace that we could see in the postseason. We got to beat him. Or we got to at least try to put up a fight to beat him.
And also, too, Scherzer's got to.
And Scherzer's got to do it.
Than 2 outs.
Yeah, I think on it, well, if I were to wait, Scherzer's got to be able to play good. I'm having more faith in that the offense should bounce back, and they got to bounce back. And if they do, we win this. And I'm going to say we win this final game because we have to.
If Scherzer loses again, and it's not a great outing, are we at that point? And it's crazy to say, are we at that point where it's Gausman 1, Bieber 2, Savage 3?
Well, let's talk about that right now because I see Drew Gamer bringing up, and then we did have the donos brought in asking about it. I mean, if Scherzer does get blown up, I have to. What's my other option? I move Barrios out of the pen, but I kind of like Barrios just back there just in case, like a Scherzer or a Savage can only give you like 4 or 5. Then he can come out and finish the game off, get ready for the next game, and burn the bullpen. Yeah, I would absolutely go Savage in game 3. I don't really have any other choice.
And then are we then forced to game 4? It's sure, like, are we going to rush the guys to turn it around really quick? Or are we going to do a Scherzer and a Barrios and an Eric Lauer? Like, is that the plan?
Well, RPG Man 45 saying game 4 you have a bullpen game and you start Eric Lauer. Some people are bringing that up too about Eric Lauer.
See, I don't hate that either.
I don't hate it either.
If you have multiple, that's the thing. When you have multiple guys who can go long in the pen,
that's
which
great.
They now have with Lauer and Barrios, that's two individuals.
Do a Lauer and Barrios game. Do a Lauer and Barrios game if you can, because you got to see what happens in the other games. Honestly, a game 4 might be let's play it by ear. Where are we at? Where are we at right now? What's the state of our bullpen look like? And can we get a bullpen game? If not, like Scherzer, like I guess you're in, buddy.
Well, now I'm even wondering too, like if Scherzer, and we love Scherzer, okay? I want to be very clear. I love Max Scherzer. He came on this show, incredible individual to talk to, and my God, I'm going to be rooting this guy on. But now I'm starting to think to myself, well, if he doesn't have a good outing against Boston, does he even get a postseason roster spot?
Well, and here's another more wrinkles into the equation, eh? You have who was it in here? Who said that Bassett should be back? His IL stint will be done. Oh yeah, that's Drew Gamer. IL stint should be done before the postseason start because that's true. Like if you count out the days, Bassett would be active right before the ALDS. So. Is there a possibility you just activate this guy and he starts a game 4? Like that could be we might not know the answers until next midweek, or if we play in a wild card series, then we'll know pretty soon. But we might not know until then.
Yeah, because if Scherzer doesn't, like if he has a bounce back start, then I think that you can talk yourself into having him on that roster and potentially giving him a look in game 3 or game 4. But if he doesn't, then as scary as it would be to start a Chris Bassett coming off of injury, I mean, I'd prefer that than 20-1.
If he got blown up, right? If he got blown up.
It's like we know what's going to happen there, but like at least with Bassett, there's some upside here.
Yeah. So there's 2 starts to watch. You're going to watch that start that Scherzer has on Wednesday. That's going to determine a lot. Then you're going to watch one more Savage start. If he can be solid against the Rays, which he was last time out, then he's going to probably go and start a game as well. So lots to be determined, ladies and gentlemen, here in the final week. Also, shout out to Good Tea Nice House with a $5 donor saying 20-1 loss felt like a red wedding from Game of Thrones. Yo, I'm rewatching Game of Thrones right now. I know it's coming. I'm not going to spoil it for anyone in case you haven't seen it. Go watch Game of Thrones. Great TV show. It started off.
It's like that game.
It's exactly it's exactly like that. It started off Springer B-Days, happy celebration, and then it went from there. Yeah, if you know the episode, you know what happened. That's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the final segment of this Blue Jays Today show, everybody. It is the final week to spin the wheel, if it wants to play at all. Wait. Wheel right now.
The spinning fortune, baseball, colorful, future determining, stat analyzing, and it's a wheel that we spin every week.
It is, in fact, a wheel that we spin every single week. Who's been keeping track? Who's on the Nick bandwagon right now? Because we are in a position of power right now. We have him right where we want him, everybody. I'm happy that at least for this year, it's coming down to the wire a little bit. Because in seasons prior, it's pretty much been locked down. But this is the final week, and it's not determined. I'm in a very favorable position.
You're like the Toronto Blue Jays right now. There's a sliver that I could, like maybe a 10% sliver, that I could come and tie it up.
I would say I'm like the Green Bay Packers from yesterday, but I think I'd actually be more. I'd be up more right now than what they were. 90% chance to win that game. Don't want to talk about it. I believe it's your.
It is my week for the final week, so I do get an advantage.
This is it. There's 3 picks. Adam has to sweep this series.
I do.
If we're considering them series, he has to sweep this series just to tie.
That'd be crazy because
if we tie, maybe we carry it into the playoffs.
Yeah, if we didn't, I like the idea of carrying the playoffs. But if we didn't, that'd be crazy because I've won 2 years, you've won 2 years, and we just split.
And then we split.
Split. That'd be crazy.
That would be pretty wild. I guess both the boys have an equivalent knowledge of the baseball.
You already know as you spin that wheel. You already know. I don't want stolen bases. That's going to can me. That would actually can me. Like, it'd be all over.
That could just be like a null. Because if anything nulls, you lose.
Yeah. Also, what did I get? Lucas was a little bit worse than Jimenez, if you could believe it.
Was he actually?
Yeah,
wow.
yeah.
I thought that was a lot.
I know. I thought so, too. He had like a 400 OPS, and it is K...
Batters?
Pitchers. Okay. You know what I got to do here? I'm going Trey Savage.
Yeah.
I'm going Trey Savage here.
I get it.
I knew there's a couple locks in my brain. Oops, we're glitching. There's a couple locks in my brain, and one was K per 9. I'm going Savage.
Yeah.
K per 9. I just wrote K per Savage. K per 9.
No, that makes sense to me.
Everyone's saying Gausman. It's K per 9. Gausman doesn't actually strike out a lot of guys.
That's the thing. Gausman has the most strikeouts in the last 15 days, but it's a 1-to-1 ratio right here. Whereas Trey Savage is slightly more than a 1-to-1 ratio, and you got to imagine that that's going to continue with him.
Yeah.
And it feels like a lot of these guys that we have right now are all kind of 1-to-1 ratios. I
know. You gotta take a shot.
I know. Like, do we go with a starter here? Do we? I don't trust Brendan Little. I don't care.
I don't care what
the stats say. I don't trust that guy as far as I could throw him. Sir Anthony Dominguez is not terrible. No. I feel like you're a guy that I personally just think that Louis Varland is a dude.
Right.
And that's something I'm gonna rock with Louis Varland and hope for the best there. I don't feel confident in it. Trey Savage feels like such a lock, but
he's the whole reason why he's here is he strikes people out. Everyone's saying Fish Boy.
Can't do Fisher.
Well, yes, no stolen bases. Oh, stop. Was that K?
That's Batters.
That's
K Batters.
Okay, there's one up. That wasn't a lock for me yet. I haven't looked at that. I'm going to take a look. Last 15 days, unless there's a clear one here. Wow. Oh, my God.
I mean...
There's a lot of guys that struck. That's insane.
I'm shocked.
George was leading in the last 15 days.
I'm kind of shocked that he is doing it that much.
I'm actually going to let you take this one because there's one more, which is OPS. I want to lock in if I get it. I want George Springer. So, I am going to let you take this one and just hope. Rolling the dice. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, that definitely makes sense. Springer got 6 last week, and he was still dominant.
I know. That's what's crazy.
That's actually crazy. Nuts. But on the season, it's you. How many did you get? Is Addison Barger, like, where's Addison Barger right
what has he been doing? He hasn't been striking out a whole lot.
Addison Barger.
Oh, okay, he's got 9 in the last 15 days. Then he had 3 in the last 7.
And you played pretty much all the games. You played all the games.
Yeah.
He's playing pretty bad right now, actually. He's not playing well.
No, he's not doing well at all right now.
I'm going to go Addison Barger.
Yeah,
I'm going to go Addison Barger. Trust the season-long stats at this point.
And
he's been doing it all year long. Give me Addy.
And God damn, why is Varsho like at 3? I mean, yeah, like... I gotta go Varsho. Like, he also strikes out a hell of a lot. I gotta go with him. Like, that's the season-long stuff. Yeah, they'll get it. This weird strikeout week for George Springer. I can't do that. I can't have that, especially if I'm saving him for OPS. I'm going Varsho. All right.
Okay. Final spin right here.
I'm on OPS.
Determine it all.
If it's stolen bases, it's over, chat.
It's probably over. There's a couple ones Adam can't have.
Slow down. OPS! There we go. I got it. I got exactly what I needed.
Yeah, he needed it. He needed it.
This is obvious, chat. There's only one guy doing good. It's George Springer. MVP of the Blue Jays.
Interesting.
Yeah, what do you do? I didn't want to be in this position, so.
Yeah, I don't know about this. What do we think, guys? I'll be honest. I'm between two right now. Yeah, well, we know it's going to be Unk. Everyone, you don't need to say that. We know it's going to be Unk. What's the second choice?
I don't even know.
Like,
Vlad?
I just don't trust Vladdy right now. I'm even thinking
Ernie Clement.
Yeah, right. I can't do that.
David Schneider. Like, those are the best guys.
I'm thinking maybe Varsho. Honestly, is where I'm currently at this current juncture. What do you guys think about that?
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, I know Adam might sweep, and you're not helping the situation.
This is the best role I could have gotten.
Yeah,
I thought about this.
He hit on everything.
Yeah.
What do we think?
Lucas. Pick Lucas.
I can't pick Lucas.
He was the worst Jay last week.
It's either Vladdy or Varsho. That's who it is.
Either Vladdy or Varsho.
Vladdy or Varsho. Fuck, I don't know.
Sure, I won't get enough ABs there, Sophie.
Yeah, I don't trust that guy either.
Come on.
Vladdy. Okay, last 30 days, Vlad's been mid. Varsho's been better.
Maybe Vladdy gets hot at home. Yeah, that's what you're kind of banking on. Like, who's going to get hot?
Yeah, that's it.
Who's going to get hot?
It's a 1 week sample size. So, like, 1 or 2 home runs, and you're going to do it. All right, Vlad. I don't feel good about it. I don't feel good about it at all, guys. I feel really not good about that.
Well, for your sake, I hope he beats Springer, because if that happens, it's either two things. Either we're all the way back, or we are way done. Or we are way done. Yeah. Guys, that is the Blue Jays Today show. We have one more Monday show, and the next Monday show will be after the whole season.
I hope that we're not predicting a wild card.
I really hope we're not predicting a wild card. So we'll have one more. We have this last show here on Monday. Then we've got one for Friday. And then, like I said, there's one more Monday. But then after that, it's going to be all over the place with this kind of stuff. Like, we don't know what the schedule's going to look like. So bear with us. We could be doing a Blue Jays Today show on a fucking Saturday or a Wednesday. So it'll be a lot of fun, though. But just remember, guys, let's ride and let's have fun
and appreciate where we're at right now. Because you know what, it's ultimately a good spot to be. Please make sure to hit that like, smash that subscribe button. Let us know your thoughts about all this in the comments down below. $4 a month, become a Patreon member or a YouTube member. Excuse me. Shout out and thank you to all of our YouTube members. You guys are amazing,
guys. Thank you so much for watching.
And as always,
go Jays, go. Will you guys still do episodes in the off season? Yes.
Yup.
Absolutely.